Hey everybody, it's a beautiful South Florida day. I'm Suzette Speaks. It's wonderful to be with you today. If you are watching live, hit the like button. If you're watching team replay, you can also hit the like button. First and foremost, I want to welcome to my channel. What we do here is we talk about different topics that affect and one topic that we've been talking about, let me fix my hair real quick. One topic that we've been talking about a lot in these YouTube streets is femininity. And what does femininity mean to modern women? So there's a school of thought that likes to say that women today have lost their femininity and have become too masculine. If you feel like that, drop a comment, please, below. And there's another school of thought that, or many, I'm just going to give you the two major ones, but another school of thought that, femininity never dies, never changes, and that it is power. And that if you know how to apply it in your own individual life settings, space, what I mean is work, in your relationships with your family, you get better outcomes. Some would argue for women. Some would say it is an old school concept that is out of date, out of step with modern times, and women can, express themselves however they want. Some happen to be more feminine, love femininity, and express themselves in like traditionally feminine ways. Others may not, and that doesn't mean they're less of a woman or should be less desirable to a mate. Well, I'm sitting down today with a YouTuber. First of all, go check out her channel. She goes by Princess Nay, and a femininity coach, which I thought was super interesting. I found her through Instagram, and we chatted it up for a little. I asked her if she would be on here. So this will be the first time I chat with her, you guys, along with each of you. So if you have any questions or comments, we got about 45 minutes to roll, and I would love to hear what you have to say about today's topic about modern femininity, and is it still a primary goal to be feminine in terms of this modern landscape when it comes to women, or have we lost our femininity? And in addition to that, is femininity really true power? Welcome, everybody. Hit the like button as you come through. It's good to see everybody here. Mandrell is in the building. Great to have you, Mandrell. Welcome, everyone. He says, "Hey, Andrew, what's up? What's up? What's up? Long time no see, brother. Miss you, miss you. I hope everything is good from the NYC. Hi, Eugene. Great to have you. Reese from Philly in the building. Good to have you, y'all. I just came back from Orlando. I literally jumped out the car and I'm on YouTube. So I will be doing a Patreon to tell my members only group what I've been up to, basically what it was I was doing up in Orlando. I was going to give it away here, but to my members only, I've missed you. It's been a crazy few weeks, but we getting back on it. So maybe, I don't think I'll be able to do it tomorrow after Faraji. Tomorrow, y'all know on Wednesdays, I go live on Roland Martin's YouTube channel every Wednesday, 3 to 5, giving my commentary on a show called The Culture with Faraji Muhammad. Shout out to Faraji for having me each and every Wednesday from 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. Eastern. But I probably will do it after my show. I have a show on Thursday talking about the brotherhood, meaning we're going to explore the idea of Black men as mentors with a gentleman who has a YouTube channel called the Mentee Channel, right, where he tries to drop knowledge to young men about, masculinity and manhood. So this is the sisterhood and femininity show today. Then we go get into masculinity. Don't worry, I'm an equal opportunity YouTuber here, and I love seeing you guys in the chat. Big up Ace B, Ace Butterfly. I know you was Ace B before, so I'm always calling you Ace B. Ace Butterfly in the place, Miss AKA Lady. Good to see you. So without further ado, let me bring up my special guest today. Again, y'all, please subscribe to her channel, and I want to welcome her. How are you, Princess Nay? Good to have you, darling. Oh, you muted. Go ahead and unmute yourself. Sorry about that. It's okay.
Yes, good to be here too.
You look cute, love. Welcome.
Thank you.
I'm super excited to chat with you. So let's get right into it. So femininity coach, femininity tips. That's not something that, well, I guess maybe if you watch YouTube a lot, you hear a lot of talk about. But in just everyday real life, some people may find it like strange or different, or just not even know that a person like you exists. Yeah. So tell people what you do on your channel, and tell people how you help ladies when you coach them.
Well, on my channel and on my Instagram, I changed the narrative of what society or what people may think, mostly about Black women and also about women in general. I don't want to fall short and adapt to this city girl culture or modern
Mm-mm,
day
not the city
woman,
girls.
modern day
Yes.
woman culture or feminist culture. I just never believed in it, never had faith in it. I just don't think it's right. So I want to show people that not only can women be feminine and soft, but it's definitely for Black women who originally set the tone for this.
So I love the fact that you were really transparent because a lot of people don't speak up about how they really feel about so-called city girl culture. I'm going to ask you to describe that a little bit and define it a little bit for those who might not be familiar in the culture. When we talk about city girls, of course, there is a group from Miami,
Mhm,
okay, called the City Girls. Shout out
mhm,
to what is it, Carisha and JT.
mhm.
But it is a euphemism. It is a word that we use to describe a certain type of behavior. So when you say city girl culture, break that down a little bit for me. What does that mean to you?
So a lot of people have different definitions of city girl culture, but we have to be honest. The main topic of city girl culture is a young woman living her best life and being sexually liberated.
Mm,
And I feel like that holds us back 100 steps.
mm,
And that part of the city girl culture, I just do not agree with. And I have facts and reasons why I don't agree with it and why it's detrimental not only to women, but mainly to Black women.
mm.
So I don't feel for me to be a part of that, let alone to promote that. I just
Okay.
don't.
That's interesting because, like, a lot of women who are in their 20s, especially some in
Mhm.
their 30s and even 40s, hey, judgment from me, but just calling it out to describe what we're talking about. And if you're watching, hit the like button. City girl culture can be, date around.
Yeah.
You have one life to live. I'm just describing what I see online, y'all, on Instagram and whatnot.
Mhm.
These dudes ain't loyal. So why should you be loyal?
Right.
And chase your career, chase the bag, and even maybe to the extreme of exploit men, get money any way necessary, by any means necessary. Am I kind of going down the right road?
Yes.
City
Yeah.
girls up is what I keep hearing. Hit the like button. If you're new to this topic, I want to welcome you. Suzette Speaks, along with YouTuber and femininity coach Princess Nay, talking about femininity tips. And she is really unique and not maybe so. Maybe the city girls are just louder when it
Yeah.
comes to social media and promoting a certain type of which I say lifestyle might be a good way to put it. And then there is you who has a different approach. So talk about your approach. When you say you are not into city girls, okay, that's not beneficial in your opinion, and we'll get into why you don't think it is. But
Mhm.
what do you consider true femininity?
Well, before I get into that, I do want to say this. I don't have a problem actually with Carisha or JT because I think JT is an amazing rapper. Like,
She's
I
beautiful.
like, yeah, I like her flow, I like her style. I like them both, but JT's my favorite. But their message does not match,
Mm,
I feel, entirely of who they are. I feel like they're saying things because it's trendy. They're saying things because it's making the money. But in behind closed doors, that's not really who they are. Um,
mm,
I I feel true femininity is a woman who has great mental health, a woman who knows who she is, has self-worth, a woman who stands on her standards and do not bend over backwards for nobody, a woman who has boundaries that she does not allow anyone to cross, and a woman who is not trying to do whatever to be beautiful according to society norms. That is a true feminine woman.
okay, so a woman who knows herself, a woman who
Mhm.
loves herself, a woman who is about her business but not trying to quote fit in. Y'all hit the like button. We're doing work over here. Feminine tips, talking with the one and only Princess Nay. She's a YouTuber, y'all. She's also very active. She was like, I thought we was gonna do an Instagram. I'm like, no, girl, I'm over here on YouTube because she goes live, y'all. So I want you guys to subscribe to her. And what's your Instagram, please? Call me.
Oh my, oh, my Instagram is call me Princess Nay.
Okay, so just how you see it spelled there. Call me Princess Nay. Go follow her because she has some wonderful tips and tricks in terms of not city girl culture, but in
Yeah.
terms of what you describe. And again, I agree with you. A lot of people preach one message, but behind closed doors they act different. I don't know JT them. This is not about them. Their name has just become a euphemism for this
Yeah.
type of behavior. So it's not about them. Shout out to the Miami girls, but
Yeah.
I hear what you're saying. They kind of popularize a kind of in your face sexuality and don't care. Long hair, don't care. It's my body. I can flaunt it how much I want to, and I can be in these streets how much I want to, and nobody can tell me nothing because I'm here to express, fully my self, mind, body,
Yeah.
and I would just say an attitude. I don't know about spirit, but I definitely see attitude when I see them
Yes.
or the brand that they promote. I was just in Orlando, and shout out to my cousin who I hung out with up there. She was saying that she knows, I'm not gonna call no names, a couple of Instagram girls who are big, followers of 250,000 or more,
Hmm.
who promote a very brash femininity. We shouldn't measure our value by having a man or being with a man, and women, should find their value independent of men.
Yeah.
But we know her in real life, and we know when she go home to her husband, because I'm
Hmm.
like, you got a whole husband, miss.
Yes.
She is very traditional. She's a very traditional
Right.
wife,
Oh, I
and
know.
I'm like, but what she preaches online, I'm like, maybe it's lucrative, maybe it's, I don't know. I don't want to judge her, and I'll stay off of her. But there's several others that are promoting one um, mission or narrative, and it's not really true. But a lot of people, that's why I say don't follow celebrity, because you don't know what they're really living like at
Yeah.
all. What would you
Yeah.
say to that?
Right. Yes. I'm a big fan of Nicki Minaj. Like, I've been a Barb since she came out.
Mm,
Now, what I always told people is Nicki can be very sexually liberated. She can be very in your face. But Miss Onika is very traditional. She said it that she wasn't going to have no kids unless she got married. And Nicki took the traditional route and made sure it happened. So,
yeah.
same thing with Beyonce. Beyonce puts out being a single woman, being independent, yet she prides herself on being a wife and a mother to a man.
Holy Ghost, come on now, to the
So
left, to the left.
I don't
Everything you want in a box. Sorry.
I, I don't really pay attention to these messages out here because they say one thing and it keeps women in this single space, and women up here upset with men, and then women up here saying that I don't need you, when in reality they just have not met a man who gave them the space to
Holy
rest,
Ghost.
the rest in their femininity. That's the problem. You have
Let me
most
pause you. Let me pause you. Let me pause you. I hate to interrupt because you in the flow, and I just want to
yeah,
say hello to everybody. The comments are going crazy. Shout out to everybody watching live. Shout out to Harrison Family Values. Shout out to Doug. Shout out to Miss AKA Lady. I see you, RM. Thank you to my fabulous moderators who are here in the chat live and team replay. Go hard or go home. We're here today to talk about femininity, and I have someone who has kind of the opposite of what modern day culture is preaching to women, and
right.
she wants to change the narrative, especially for Black women. We
Mhm.
have a lot of people in the what should I say, music industry, in Hollywood, who are preaching a lot of things about this modern day femininity. But
Mhm.
when you look at their life, let me just call a couple names. CC Sierra just made a song, and it was a whole dust up because she talking about, oh, this is the girls who get it by themselves, and you got a whole wonderful husband named Russell Wilson. When you mentioned Beyonce, I'm like, absolutely. A lot of the single lady songs, she told y'all to be single. Me too, but but then she got a whole husband, stay
Yeah.
with him even past infidelity and
Yeah.
other issues, and the list can go on when it comes to saying do that we don't need a man, but they got their man, right? So we got to
Correct.
be very careful. Shout out to Narratives and Dialogue. Sorry, my hearing. Drop a comment. Let me know what you feel about today's topic. Sorry again, I'm getting a little bit of a internet delay, but shout out to Narratives and Dialogues. Let me see. Ace Butterfly said, "Don't forget the men are also singing and rapping about independent." Ladies, this is true. And she adds, "You should find value independent of men." But being complimented is desired. Being independent doesn't mean you don't want marriage. Yeah, this independent, INDEN, whatever. I was dancing to it too.
Yeah.
How would you describe what your take on being independent is? Because of course you feminine, in your dress and how you speak and in your mannerisms and those type of things.
Right.
When you hear the word independent, is it bad to be an independent woman? How would you describe that?
Well, no, I mean, we live in a different day and age now where we have to go out and get stuff to provide for ourselves. I think that's great. But what I don't agree with is two things. One, when you do attract a good man and it's leading to marriage, it's time for you now to put that independent trope behind you and become interdependent. And I think a lot of women miss that gap because I'm in promotion of stay-at-home moms, and I'm also in promotion of women um, having husbands who take care of them. I think there is nothing wrong with that. But I think when you in your single season, you have to, be independent. I think there's nothing wrong with that. Just know when you meet that guy that give you that space, let it go.
Yeah. Okay. So you got to pay bills. That's another thing. Everybody likes to say we're not gonna and let me come back in here. Yeah, a lot of people take issue. Oh, you too independent, but as I'm single, I have to pay my bills, right? I'm gonna be living on the street, so there's a balance there, though. Are you the right
Right.
person, or how people start to connect and develop into a relationship? You don't know if they're right off the top. You still have to have, I guess, a certain I guess the word might be softness or openness to
Yes.
a
Yes.
complementary relationship as opposed to my terms or your terms. Narratives and dialogue said, but the male rapper's bag was gotten a different way, wouldn't you say? So where is this city girl revenge coming from? Hot girl summer, etc. I wonder. Let me see. City Girls, I think, was a revenge binge on rap wars between male rappers and female rappers due to them saying that black male rap artists being able to talk about getting the bag. So you're saying, thank you, narratives and dialogue, that it came as a kind of reaction to what men were doing, and if you can get your money, I can do it too, or I'm not just your object. Hey, Alaska man in Jersey. So what when you said it is probably bad and the outcomes are bad or not necessarily productive, what would you say would be probably the negative outcomes from living like a city girl lifestyle?
Um, um, when you live this city girl lifestyle, you're literally placing yourself in position to become a baby mama. And it's sad to say, but you're leading yourself there. Because if you look at most rappers or influencers today, they are getting pregnant outside of marriage. And they're showing you, based on their income, I could take care of me and I don't need a man. So women who follow that type of logic will be like, oh, I can do the same thing as her and I could be good, but not realizing you don't have the same money as her. Your bills are different. Your struggles are different. I couldn't even, I'm 30 years old. I would not dare have a child right now, and I am not married, and my husband, mainly my husband, is financially stable to
Mm,
my standards. I wouldn't dare because
mm,
it's disrespectful not only to myself but to my child. Because see, now I'm putting you in a position to be raised up in the struggle, and we're not doing that.
mm,
So these rappers are putting out there that women should be independent. You don't need a man. You need to be a feminist and all this and that. But in reality, if a man has a provider mindset, he don't care what you got.
mm,
What you could provide do not matter.
mhm. I hear you. So I feel like you are an anomaly in that Gen Z. And maybe again, maybe just the city girl culture is louder and is promoted and overly shared throughout social media. And do you think there are a lot more traditional women like you in your age group?
Yes, but they just aren't loud like me.
Okay, all right. Because like the stereotype is that everybody wants to be out and about in the streets and don't
Yeah.
want a husband, and then when they try to get a husband, it'll be too late. Or like you said, they end up in a different lifestyle because they are pushing a narrative that doesn't lead to necessarily finding someone if that's their goal. So now that let's pivot a little bit more in terms of what you teach and what you preach, because again, it's refreshing for some, and then other people are cringing, like she is what do they call it, pick me, or she's not in touch with her sexuality, or she's repressed,
Yeah.
or like what would you say to that? Because I can hear already some people watching it applauding and other people saying, "Girl, bye." What would you say to that?
Um, I wouldn't say anything because you know what? One thing I know is that can't no man or nobody ever say that they ran a train on me.
Mm,
Can't no man or nobody say they ever threw me through the ringer. Can't no man ever say that he played in my face. Can't no man said I ever cooked for him. I ever gave him money. I ever let him play with me like that. A lot of women go through that type of stuff because they ignore the stuff that I be saying.
okay.
And I'm the type of woman, I'm not married yet, but I'm on the journey of becoming more towards the wife than the baby mama or the side chick or just the girlfriend of 5 to 10 years.
Mm,
So I don't have to say anything to those type of women because they're gonna get it eventually. It's either you gonna sit up here and listen to what I got to say, or you're gonna keep running into men who gonna keep filling your head up saying you right, but they really just trying to get you on your back. So then they
right.
can move on to the woman that is like the mindset I got.
Okay.
So it's
I
whatever way you're gonna go.
love it. She pulls no punches around here, as Roland would say. Let me see. I have a question in the chat. Ace Butterfly says, "Do men want femininity? They say they want low body count, but how true is that?" What would you say to Ace?
Well, no man that I have ever ran across ever said he wants a woman who have have spread
Been with?
herself thin. I
Hmm.
don't. I've never met a man who said that. They can say that in the rap. They can say these type of things, but those aren't really grown men. I mean, honestly, they're just not. Those are grown boys who like to hear themselves talk. Grown
Not,
men, grown men that I have ran across, they don't want no woman who's out here just giving herself away because men don't like to be embarrassed. That's one thing for sure. And men do not like his child's mother to be known that you're just giving away to his homeboys and whomever because it's embarrassing.
mm.
It's like us women, we wouldn't want the embarrassment of a man cheating on us and he just giving his body away. But I don't think no man in history wants that.
So, okay, well, there are people, like I said, that are coming through here on this platform and talk about what they want in terms of a woman. And again, just because women necessarily um, preach something else, or maybe are popular, or at least they are relevant because they're preaching something else, doesn't mean it holds, water with the average guy. I think people need to realize what is good on or popular on social media
Mhm.
and in music and in Hollywood is not necessarily popular on Main Street, so to speak. So I
Right.
think sometimes we gotta really differentiate, as you said earlier, that people with a lot of money, a lot of fame, have a different kind of dating pool
Yes.
and prospects for single life if they end up by themselves. And
Yes.
if you end up with a different dating pool that you probably have everyday access to, it's
Mhm.
not going to be the same type of men. And actually, I talk to ladies just in my circle all the time about, what will your life look like in 5 years, in 10 years, in 20 years? Because we're not talking about that, I don't think, enough, and
Yes.
planning accordingly, especially when it comes to child rearing or having children in a time where you'll be available to do that. Sanana says no one wants quote unquote an experienced woman. Oh Lord, here we go. Uh,
Right.
let me see. Narratives and dialect says she played on their emotions by saying she wants to get black women in order. Nay is way more valid than just Pearly thinks. Okay, that name's coming up. I don't know if you know her. She's another big what should I say, YouTuber. She has a lot of followers on the platform anyway.
I never
But they
heard
will
of
not
her.
give her credit, black men nor black women yet. But she's in a little bit of a controversy right now, so I'm not going to get into her right now. But thank you.
I never heard of her.
Well, you can look her up after, but yeah, there's been a kind of a dust up because of her. Nonetheless, I want to talk about you, and I want to talk about what you think. Let me get maybe the top 5 ways in which women now could or should exercise femininity And I think, like I said, you have a much more traditional viewpoint, and I think that for many, they will find that refreshing. That there are younger women who are not ready to risk it all,
Mm,
and try to do what their male counterparts do. And again, I think there is a lot of not said in public discourse about that having real repercussions, and
yeah.
that it's great that there's someone that might shed some light on what those real repercussions are when you waste your early years just playing in the streets, right?
Yeah.
So what would be some of your top 5 tips in terms of what women should be doing or working on or applying femininity in their day-to-day lives?
Number one, abstain yourself from sex. Just stop.
Mm, mm,
You need to stop, because a person who is too sexually liberated or too um, into sex cannot think correctly, regardless of what race or culture you come from. If you have that much attachment to sex, you cannot be your best self, because now you're in a position where anything can tempt you to put yourself on the line. Money, power, bags. All they need to do is give you some form of sex and you on your back for anything. That's not good. Number two, never allow somebody to get you out of character. If you know who you are, you don't need to sit up here and get to the point where you cussing and arguing and getting your blood pressure up behind somebody on the internet. It's just not that serious. Number three, stop dating men that you don't see no future with. You wasting your time. You wasting your time. If he is not a man who is in the position of finding his own purpose and he's in submission to God, you are wasting your time. It's just what it is. Number four.
I don't want to interrupt you on a roll. So far we've heard, and again, thank you for your unadulterated truth in terms of
Mhm.
what you think works. So abstinence, I want to break each one of these down because,
Yeah,
again, for a woman who is 30, that is really anti pop culture of
yeah,
go get it, girl, be out here, city girls up, let's go. And how you described it as having control over you or clouding your judgment, even
mhm,
sometimes putting you in a situation that you don't need to be in unnecessarily, where you're
yeah,
not, you're not able to walk away. You're emotionally attached, and some would even call it spiritually attached. If you
yeah,
believe that you become kind of imprinted by this person, I don't mean physically, but I mean kind of like a spiritual imprinting. There are a lot of people that subscribe to that, but there's difficulty some may have in
yes.
abstaining. What would you recommend people do if they feel like maybe they're trying to leave a city girl lifestyle, but they are used to physical contact? How would you recommend that they maybe start a new direction?
Well, I think the real issue here, and a lot of people don't like to talk about this, but I like to point out the truth. In the Black community and in all other communities, mainly white, there is a porn addiction that has
Mm,
attack on our people and other communities like no other.
mm,
It's like a spiritual like addiction that a lot of people can't pull themselves away from. You know, sex is always in our faces in today's society. You see it on TV, you see it on shows, you hear it in music. I feel like for me, being a Christian, what I had to do was I had to stop listening to every single song, mainly songs that had cuss words in them. I had to stop watching every type of show. And if the show did have a sexual scene, not watch it, or just remove it in general. I had to remove like a lot of housewife shows out my life because all the bickering and the throwing the drinks is just not good. Um, Also, I just didn't feel the need to place myself in a position to be sexual with a lot of men or men in general, because my mom said one of the worst things you can do is have a child by the wrong man. And I never wanted my children to be by a man that was anything like my dad, like anything, or any man like him.
mm.
And that would literally make me feel so disappointed. So to prevent all that is just not to get on my back. And I think a lot of women don't know the value they got when you don't get on your back. Men
Mhm.
value that like a lot. When you say no, I'm not laying down with you until I'm a wife and stuff like that. Men value that on another level. But they don't tell us that because men play games. I mean, they got to play games to see if you the one, but they don't tell us that. But I sat down with some real men and they done told me the best
Mhm.
thing you could ever do is one, walk away, and two, not get on your back for a man. So if you or whomever have like this addiction or have this want for sex, you really gotta work at it. Work
Okay.
at it.
Thank
It's a
you.
process.
Yeah, it doesn't happen overnight, and I appreciate you giving us your candid opinions because a lot of people struggles quietly. Some people don't, but there is a very big proliferation of all kinds of materials that people, not even used to being with somebody. They're used to being by themselves. Let's put it like that, and don't know how to relate to another person because
Mhm.
what they've seen in their kind of fantasy world doesn't match up what it's like to be with a real human being. So
Right.
I've read articles about that actually, how it has affected sexual drive and being able to communicate and other things. So the number two, I'm just breaking down step by step. Repeat what you said for number two is your best piece of advice.
Hold on, what did I say? Hold
You-
on. I talk so much, so now I gotta remember.
okay.
I think for the pull out of character, right?
Oh, don't ever let no one take out a character. That's right. That's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. So as a feminine woman, I do talk about a lot of like how to talk softer to people because a lot of times in the black community we come from parents who talk to us in masculine tones or tones where they're cussing at us or calling us names and stuff like that. So when we go out into real life, relationship wise, we talk to each other like that. And it continues the cycle. And I feel like a lot of people have to realize what happened and get away from that because that all of that came from slavery, talking to us
Mhm.
down to us as if we were beneath. And our parents adapt to that, which is a European, standard of living, to talk to each other like that, like you're beneath. And you have to step away from that. And a lot of us, like myself, when I was younger, I was very hot headed. Anything would make me just pop. But now I don't allow people to pull me out of character because I know who I am and I know where I'm going. You see what I'm saying? So I think it's better to just process things before you just react. Use your anger when you need it, not when it's something that can just be resolved with a conversation.
That's really good because again, sometimes we have not been talked to softly, and I realize people have different ways of communicating for sure.
Yeah,
Some are healthy and some are not healthy.
yeah,
So when we have and not all black people grow up in households where they have like a hostile type sounding mom or dad, or they was talked to a certain kind of way, but a few, and whoever it applies to, guys, use what we are saying here, where it fits in your life. We will see that pattern with people utilizing what they heard and saw without even realizing it in their relationships, or in their friendships in other ways. I don't even like girlfriends. I had a set of friends no longer in that circle that used to call each other like the garden tool, like, hey garden tool, hey girl. I'm like, why y'all? I never understood.
yeah,
Or hey, B word, how y'all doing? B word, okay, B word. Like they would talk to each other like that, and it
yeah,
made my spirit so uncomfortable. I was like, my mom never spoke to me like this. This is
yeah,
not how I chill with my, I guess it would be comparable maybe to the N word when guys talk to
yeah,
each other, but I
yeah.
wasn't feeling that. I always thought it was a cut. It was like a tear down. I didn't think it was a good thing at all.
It
So
is. It's just what we. It's just what we heard for generations from Europeans, and
yeah.
for what you hear from them, you tend to repeat it, and it keeps going and going and going. And until somebody break the cycle, people going to see it as a norm. I have had black people tell me that I was weird because I wanted to act white because I didn't feel the need to talk to other people how most black people talk. But it's not like that. It's just I just feel, you know, this is just something we have to stop.
Yeah, I agree with you 100% because there are people, y'all go to her channel, check her out. It's Time for Tea is her channel name on YouTube. Subscribe. She's doing work up here. There's men that are saying we agree. Some say they can't wait till marriage. I see you, Doug. Others are saying we as men really have to court our women and get to know them. That's the people that are not playing games now. There are
Yeah,
people out here who is just trying, as they say, the young people say, smash. But
yeah,
if you're really looking for a solid monogamous relationship, you do have to do this kind of courtship. Andrew, as the internet is creating incels, people
yeah,
basically who are not used to having relations with other people because they're all by themselves and using the internet as their way of so-called connecting with other people, and they're not being able to interact with others. He adds, it seems like the poles reverse between men and women in this area. So let me ask you, as a feminine woman, do you ever, or do you coach people to ever go up to guys and make the first
no.
move?
Oh no, I don't promote that at all.
That's a big no.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely no. I would never. One thing about men, they look at everything when they out. They pay attention to everything when they out because men are in protection. They have to protect themselves and they have to protect whoever's around them and even women because men are supposed to protect women. So when you are out, don't ever think a man ain't see you. No matter what race he is, he see you. But if he ain't approach you, then you don't approach him. He could be taken, he could be engaged, he could be gay, he could just not be interested. But
Right.
best believe he done seen you and look fully at you.
So you ain't gotta back up. Like let me bump into him real quick. Coming
Yeah.
out the bathroom. Hey, what's up, wonderful 34? Let me try it.
And I will say, as a woman of myself,
Yes.
when it comes to dating, I
Hmm.
do believe in placing myself in areas to be seen by certain men, but I would never approach a man. Like, I think it's okay for me to go to a networking event where not only I can network with women, but
Right.
be seen by certain men that I possibly might have interest in. I'm not going out there to get a man attention, but I feel like if I stay in the house, I ain't gonna meet my husband. So I gotta go out to events.
Wow. So I hear you. So making yourself findable, I think I've heard it said in the past. So we got some good advice coming from a young lady who is in the throes of dating, singleness, trying to seek out her husband, and this is how she has modified her lifestyle to reflect what she sees as feminine values. So
Mm.
again, speaking softly and not letting someone take you out of character was number two. So what was number three? Tell me. I broke up your train of thought for your top three.
Yeah,
I apologize because I want to break down each one. So I'll let
yeah.
you flow from here.
Um, Number three was
I think it was like so you talked about not stepping out of character, not being especially in your early dating stages
yeah.
uh fully available, or some would say promiscuous. I guess it might be an old term that some feel is out of date.
Mhm.
Just tell me from your heart. Time wasters. Yes, thank you, Ace. Stop dating time wasters. Ace
Oh
is on
yes,
it.
yes, that is right. Yes, I don't believe in dating men that I don't see a future with them. I'm
Mm,
dating for marriage now. And I have been since my late 20s. I just don't date men that I know. I know. I don't like
mm,
that.
mm.
I think those men should go off with women that would make them happy. I had to tell an ex of mine that, like, I like you, you're nice looking, but I just don't see a future here. And he didn't understand it because I just said it randomly, but I knew. And I
Yeah.
guess that's how some men know when they don't see a certain woman as a wife. They will date you until, they want to move on. But I don't do that anymore. I did that in my earlier 20s, dating guys that I knew for a fact was a husband material. But now, like, my later 20s and now 30, now, 'cause I just turned 30 in November, I just don't believe in time wasters.
Awesome. She's like, I don't have time for that. And there are people, again, depending on what they want. If you want a monogamous, long term relationship or marriage, you really know, I think, really within, I told the lead attorney one time, who is also a big YouTuber, 3 dates max. He's talking about three. You know what first date? What you talking about? 3 dates? I'm like, well, sometimes there's behaviors that you're kind of questioning, but you don't think are a big deal.
Yeah.
You don't so Doug, so we have some questions when it comes to time wasting, etc. So let me see. Let's start with narratives and dialogues. As some people are respectfully just not each other's type. Like me, I respect when women are respectful, but I'm not into slim women. Okay, his preference. So
And
go
that's
ahead.
good. He knows his preference. I think there is nothing wrong. But you will be surprised sometime. I have seen people who had a certain type and they wasn't into this, and then they found somebody who was completely off and they fell in love. So
Yeah.
just don't overlook certain women because you just never know.
So okay, and then he follows up with Suzette speaks. Ask her, is 5 years too long to wait on a ring? Should you pressure him into a ring? What would you say to that?
No, you never want to pressure a man to anything because
I
if a
agree.
man gonna do something, he just gonna do it.
Right.
Now, for me, 5 years would be too long for me for a ring, because the way I date is not typical dating. I'm not spending the night because we're not married. I'm not sleeping with you because we're not married. I'm not straight off the bat cooking and cleaning. I'm not doing any of that type of stuff. A man has to work to get to that point. I feel like each year you're dating someone, a man has to work for a new level of you. So I may move too slow for a 5 year ring, but I don't feel like men really need 5 years to know if she's the one. I think he needs 12 months and he knows for sure if this is the one or not. 5 years, this is turning into roommates now.
I
What do
know.
we
I think he knew from the jump that he wasn't gonna marry you if
Yeah,
he's with you 5 years. I
right.
mean, there are certain things, extenuating circumstances like an illness or something major change in his job or something where he doesn't feel like he's ready financially. But
Yeah,
barring any type of, somebody died, his mama died, he needed a year to, mourn or
right.
whatever it is. I just don't think that is a requisite amount of time. It just seems very long for me. Doug is asking what is considered a time waster. I think she kind of describing it from her point of view. But time wasting meaning just people that you don't think you're suited for to be married to.
Right. Right. Yeah.
So not anything wrong with them, not somebody that's trying to like play with you, but more so in your spirit, in your heart. I have said that to a couple people, like I can meet a nice man, but I
Mm,
don't know if it's my guy. Do you
yeah.
understand what I'm saying? And I think sometimes people have a hard time. I tried to explain that to my aunt one time, and she was like, "But he's so nice." He's like, I'm like, "Yeah," but
Yeah,
there's
but
not that. I don't need ace butterflies, but I need the attraction and some passion to be alongside what is common sense or makes sense on paper. So
yeah,
I
and
think
and
sometimes people overlook that.
I do want to clarify something.
Mm,
Sometimes we may not think somebody may be our guy because we have not sat down and each actually had the conversation.
mm,
And
mhm.
sometimes some people can be that person, but they need a little more to open up. You see what I'm saying?
Right,
They need
right.
a little more reassurance, or maybe they need a little more like time to be themselves. But us women, we really know when a guy is just not our guy.
I was about
Like,
to say, yeah, I think sometimes people just mature at different speeds.
hmm
So I can be in one place, and I think in areas of your life, from financial to spiritual to what you want, if you're ready for a family, if you're not, if whatever you're thinking is most important to you right then, it has to be on the same page. I
that's
think,
right.
maybe he's butterfly asked, what does Princess Day think about dating multiple men at the same time?
I'm always going back and forth with that because I tell women that you need at least 10 dates with a man, um, to know if this is going to work or not. Because we all have busy lives, we all have what we got going on. Um, and when I say dates, I mean public dates, no home dates, no nothing like that. It has everything.
No, get it on, just
Yeah,
basic, get to know you for real, for real. If I like your personality, if we mesh, if we have things in common, if we don't, because I believe actually opposite attracts oftentimes. Not
yeah,
complete like I'm in the streets and I'm, hustling, but I'm saying like you don't always have to like the very same thing that man likes. Like if you're
right.
open to exploring things, I think that's actually more powerful from what I've seen. And again, I'm no expert, but Little Ernest says, I think 3 years is good enough to vet someone, a complete stranger, not even somebody you grew up with. If you know them from before and you know, I guess, their origin story, it shouldn't take that long even. So I want to let her finish her list, y'all. Lots of questions. Let me see. And comments. Narratives dialogues as I understand where Nate is coming from. Princess Nate is coming from. Lil Mo's song called Lucky Her explains what she is saying. The song talks about getting him ready for another woman after waiting for a ring. Yeah, I
Yes.
think I refuse to do that, but a lot of people don't know they're doing that because they genuinely are being strung along,
Yeah.
or the man is promising this. Ace is asking for 10 dates. Is the bill 50-50, or is he supposed to pay?
Uh, a woman is supposed to always offer, but it's better for a man to pay because I need to see if a man has a form of leadership about him taking the lead to provide. Those are little tests that we women will play.
Mm.
I shouldn't even be saying that because it's men on here, but those are little tests that we tend to play. I think a woman should offer, or she can even possibly do, like, let's say it's like a concert, and you'd be like, oh, I got us concert tickets. Let's go to a concert. I think that's fine. But the first date, he needs to pay.
Yeah. What if he pays with a gift card? Just kidding. It was, I listened to another podcast. Shout out to Eric Thomas podcast. They were asking about, like, what if a man, and this happened to a woman, pay with
Yeah,
a gift card on the first day. I'm like, don't look too much into it, but people
yeah.
were debating. All right, so I'm gonna let you get your other major tips, y'all. Check out her channel and her Instagram for more tips, but just giving us an overview on her understanding of what the power of femininity is
Mhm.
and how we can strengthen our, I guess, our journey, our life experience, by applying some tips. So avoiding time wasters, especially when you're dating, using, your character and not letting people take you out of character. And of course, you started with making sure you're being abstinent. So how would you finish out your list and your top 5 ways in which you think women should apply their femininity and power?
Um, so probably number 4, I would say always take care of yourself.
Mm.
When it comes to personal hygiene, when it comes to self care and your mental health, that is very, very important, mainly before you get into a relationship or start a new job. Make sure you are okay. You don't want to go into anything with stress. And number 5, I would say for me personally, which just could have been number 1, but is no right order. Make sure that what you want and who you are is in alignment with God.
Mm.
If it doesn't line up, you are going to hit some roadblocks. You're going to hit stress. You're going to even find yourself in a lane of destruction. But I think what you want in life, whatever it is, just make sure it lines up with God, and you can have that.
I think that's very powerful. Again, we might both come from like a traditional mindset when it comes to religion and God and how we understand, that power of understanding yourself through your creator. I think
Mhm.
again, in public spaces and social media trends, you have, I mean, your algorithm just gets locked into whatever you keep looking up. So it's
Yeah,
there. But if you're
yeah.
not in tune with that algorithm, or you haven't been looking up, gospel singers or certain thing, stuff,
Mhm,
you can maybe not see that.
mhm,
And that part of self development is very important, I think, before you even start to think about partnering or just becoming one with someone long term. Because there is so much about you that you have to understand. He's not there to fix, you're not there to fix him. He's
right.
not there to change, you're not there to change him. It really is you both evolving, hopefully together, apart first, but then hopefully together, and then accepting one another, flaws and all,
Mhm.
for who they are and who they are becoming, because you're going to change and people do evolve and change, and hopefully you can rock with them during their change. Let me ask you as we wrap, and I see a lot of conversation going on in the chat.
Mhm.
Some people saying you 10 dates where women they talk about one, the manosphere won't go for 10 dates where a woman doesn't pay, rolls eyes. Narratives and dialogues say 10 dates will distract you and turn you into superficial, uh, looking for meals, etc. I can understand what they're saying, but I understand what you're saying as well, which is the real true get to know you. If I even like being with you, I think 3, and I'm actually either sold on you or I don't want to be around you with the romantic purpose in mind. I kind of know 3 is like my max.
But the
Um,
only thing is, okay, so let's say we just do 3 dates. Do you think you coming to my house now?
no, absolutely not. And they be mad, but no, I don't think so.
Going on these dates because I gotta get to know you because you could be anybody.
No, that's very true. What do you think? Final thoughts about what women are getting wrong in what you see out here, that you see in your coaching or when you're talking to ladies. You know, what do you think is the maybe pop culture that's being influenced or influencing them? Excuse me, that's being influential, or what do you think it might be also hindering, especially Black women, when it comes to using their femininity as power?
I think they keep confusing it with sexual versus just them being them. I think a lot of them don't realize you don't have to get sexual with a man to get what you want. You
So you're
don't.
saying sexuality is not femininity.
No, it's just no.
It's a part of a woman, clearly. It's a way of what should I say, just a natural part of expression. But you're saying that more people are, I'm asking you, substituting femininity with what is actually sexuality.
Yes, because a lot of women, when they come to my page, they don't. Some of them don't realize that I preach more on like being abstinence because a lot of women are in sugar baby culture. Because a lot of women in this day and age can be brought,
Mhm.
not realizing that's a form of settling for a certain type of man. So they're confusing the femininity aspect with the sexual aspect because being overly sexual was being pushed, and I don't talk about that. I don't push that message.
Hmm.
So
They like that. I see it. The narratives and dialogue say I'm subbing to Nate
yeah,
right now. Sub to her channel. I'm very, very interesting. I'm going to see what's in there. I love it because yeah, there's so much that we could go into, but I know we're out of time when it comes to talking about this issue because I do think a lot of what's being pushed in the culture
mm-hmm.
quietly, there are people pushing against that or not even believing it. But again, what gets reshared is bad behavior. What gets reshared is outrageous,
Yeah,
behavior. So when you are just chilling in your corner, trying to, manage your life, your bills, and being the best person,
mm-hmm.
not just a woman, but person you can become, there's a lot of messages being thrown at you about what you should look like. Should ladies always have their hair done? I see you looking so pretty. I know you came on this show though,
Yeah.
but are you big on, like, I wear makeup? Some people are like, oh, women should be natural.
Mm.
Um,
I think
would you?
it should, I mean, I think as a woman, you should do something. You don't want to just always go around like that because then when you do wear a little something, they'd be like, "Oh, look at you." No, you need to see me at my best all the time. Yeah.
She said put some paint on that front door. I mean, I heard ladies at church put it that way. But
Yeah.
yeah, I never leave the house without at least a little lipstick. Like I just like, that's me though.
Yeah.
At least, if they should at least know I care by at
Mm.
least a little gloss or a little lipstick. I'll put on some shades and keep it moving.
Yeah. At least
But a
something.
lot of people don't do that. Let me see. Don't marry her. If we got into this already, she's impatient, she's selfish or stingy. So is that something that you preach about? Okay, so we know how you feel about giving of one's body,
Mhm.
but should femininity be expressed in relationships as the woman being giving and selfless?
Um. Yeah, you definitely want to be given. I mean, nobody that's selfish.
Mm,
But I think you need to know your limits
mm,
because us women have been taught to give is like is to be submissive, but in a way that we're not actually getting anything out of it. Like I don't preach that you should be submissive in a relationship. I preach you should be submissive in a marriage. And a
mm.
lot of people cannot find the connection between the two. This is why I say a man has to work for each new level you're willing to give. If he's not being a good man, he's just doesn't he shouldn't have access to you if he's not being a good man, basically. And whatever you feel is a good man to you, because us women, we all have different definitions of what's a good man and
Yeah, and
what's
what we
good to
want.
us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So do you call a man when you're dating them, or should he be calling you? What's that like?
I don't play this tit for tat. Listen, we gonna call each other. I'm not playing this game. You're not gonna disappear for a couple of days and think you're gonna come back. We're not doing that. Look, it's either we talking or we not.
Yeah,
It's either dating or we not.
yeah.
You know, it's different if you got hit by a car, you in the hospital, and I couldn't reach you. That's one thing. But one thing I don't recommend is a woman to ever call a man more than twice. He
Right.
sees when you call him.
Exactly.
Okay,
Yeah.
a man shouldn't have to keep calling you like that.
Right.
And
If you
always,
like him, if you into him, pick up the phone, right? Like, yeah.
yeah.
I see you getting interrupted there. Don't worry. I am enjoying the conversation. We'll have you back, sis. You have are full of knowledge when it comes to traditional femininity. Now, people are going to take offense if you don't want that type of lifestyle. Don't live it. Do you? But I think it's great in terms of at least having the discussion so people hear a different side of the coin when it comes to especially Gen Z and younger generations kind of entering the dating market and also wanting a certain type of life in the end. You got to start preparing yourself now. I think sometimes we think we have all the time in the world
Right.
to do and be, these several, lifestyle people like, oh, I'll wait for that. I'll wait for him there. But I keep telling people the earlier you get to the bottom of who you want to be and what you want, especially from a partner, you got to start looking and you got to start putting yourself in places, as you say, to go and find or be found by that special someone. How can people reach you for more fabulous tips? I think I see your Instagram here.
Yes. My Instagram, call you Princess Nay. YouTube, it's time for tea. Um, TikTok is call me Princess Nay too. I only
Okay, so
use those three. I'm not on every single thing. It's just
yeah, I get tired. I haven't done TikTok either. I'm like, I can only do what I can do. But I appreciate you, sis. I want to have you back and we can get even deeper. So do you coach women of all ages, etc.? Or how many, like, who is your ideal client?
it's usually 25 and up. That's usually my audience because the younger ones, they not like they hear me, but they don't really hear me yet.
Yes.
So it didn't click. It didn't click yet. Like me, I didn't start taking dating serious until like my late 20s, probably like 27. So I
Mm.
see it differently now. I just used to just date. I didn't care, you know. But I
Yeah.
take it seriously now by making the right choices. Um, but I don't necessarily coach women, even though my followers think I coach women. I just
Okay.
put out good information, and whoever gravitate to it just takes it.
Yeah, well, they love you in the chat. Spam the chat. Find her YouTube channel, y'all. Please subscribe. Show her, excuse me, our love. The speakers are always supportive of other channels to go and take a look at what you're offering, and I'm grateful that again, new perspective is always welcome. Agree or disagree. I always want to give people the space to explain what their life experience has taught them here on the Suzette Speak Show. So see you very soon, Princess Nay. Thank you so much. And if I can ever be of service, you let me know, sis. Everybody, thank you so much for watching. Hit the like button on the way out. I'll see you very soon. You take care, darling. A pleasure. All right. Thanks so much. Again, I hope y'all enjoyed it. Thanks so much for watching. Please check me out coming up on Thursday. I think we're going live 4:30 Eastern with his name is G Hollis. He's from the Mentee channel. He'll be over here talking about Black men as mentors, right? We talk about passing the torch or who's helping people develop leadership. I just sent this book that my friend's husband is reading, and I sent it to my brother, and I sent it to my guest from last week, Jamil from Fresh Heritage, and I sent it to a few of my homeboys, reading about developing oneself as a strong Christian leader in terms of your manhood as it relates to your job, as it relates to the community, as it relates to your significant other. I was so curious about the book. I just looked at the outline, the titles, and I'm like, I'm sending this to every man I know. So we're going to talk about manhood and mentorship on coming up on Thursday, 4:30. So can't wait to see you. I'll probably go live with my Patreon right after that, talking about some of the work I did while I was in Orlando this past weekend, just until literally 4 o'clock today before I jumped on here. But I appreciate each and every one of you. I'm looking, no, narratives and dialogues, I will. Y'all support the stream if you can. Show some love either with the Cash App or if you want Super chat is on, but of course we get a percentage on the super chat. But let me see. Can I put up the cash out real quick for y'all? Boom. So if you want to support the stream, if you like the message, or if you have a topic or suggestion, you can always reach out to me either by email, or you can also reach out to me on Instagram. I look at most DMs, but I appreciate you be here. I will read your last. He says narratives and dialogues, like read my last number 4 red flags. Y'all, if you're watching Team Replay, watch with the chat open. It's been hilarious. I've been trying to keep up, but again, please go ahead and subscribe to Miss Princess Jhonea's channel. Thank you, Reese. Good to see you. Appreciate y'all. If you're liking what you see, hit the like button and support. Number 4. Okay, I'm reading number 4 of narratives and dialogues, red flag tips to avoid. Here we go. I'm trying to get my workout in, y'all. I've been driving all day, so I want to get that in. And who's watching the games tonight? Who you got? Let's go Heat. I'm back on the bandwagon. What's up? Jimmy Buckets. Jimmy Buckets. Let's go. I'm excited about the games. I love me some Steph Curry. I don't really watch NBA as much as I used to, but the playoffs, let's go. I want to know who you got. Shout out to James Harden destroying dreams last night. I was watching, and it was amazing. So I always enjoy watching the playoffs. If you're watching it, let me know who you got tonight. But narratives and dialogues to end the show says, if she's looking for her man to be a Superman, because Lois Lane already has him, in my own words. If she's looking for her man to be Superman because Lois Lane already has him, in my own words. Okay. I guess you don't want her to look for you to solve every problem, but then we can't be too independent. I know that part though. That's what you say. But one of my favorite songs is Taurus Riley, this reggae song called Superman. I am definitely dancing to that song at my wedding. I love that song. So I don't need you. Shout out to Doug sponsoring the stream. Thank you, Doug, for showing some love today. But I don't need you to be a Superman. But it's nice every now and then, right? Solve a problem, rescue me. Yes, let's go. Sit back sometimes and you figured it out, this problem or whatever happens. But no, I don't think it should be. My email is full again. Girl, I clean it out. It fills up. I clean it out. Sorry, I'm going to clean it out again. And you can always email me topic ideas or people I can collab with. No, it's not going down in my DMs. Thank you very much. Oh, interview journalist Ed Gordon from BET from back in the day. Why not? I will reach out to him. I reach out to most people via DM. But yeah, I will check him out. Ed Gordon. Okay, cool. Go Warriors. Let's go. Let's go. Yes, I do have to clean up my email. It's been a mess, but I've been traveling. I've been working hard. Last 2 weeks have just been crazy. So back at it. I will see you guys soon. Yes, you did. You killed 90,000 emails. Oh my gosh. No, I need to get it. I need to get it down. But every time I clean that email, I'm trying to get off the listservs because they start spamming you right away. And I'm trying to get out, unsubscribe to these people's list. But shout out to RM. Good to see you, love. She also, in addition to moderating here, has her own channel. If you like, speaking of femininity, 1950s, vintage, old school, ode to old school. Yay. Go check out her channel and please subscribe. Shout out to everybody. Shout out to Sandy B. She did a fantastic show with a guest I've had also here. Dr. Tasha was on Sandy B. Law over there with I think it's called Civility. I think it's called, what's it called? Civility Matters. Oh my gosh, I hope she sent me the stream. But I've also seen Harrison Family Values doing some work, some fantastic shows as well. Several of my colleagues here who have been Civility Wins with Dr. Tasha. Shout out to Civility Wins with Dr. Tasha. Yes, love me some Sandy B. She's also a Miami lady, and I appreciate you always showing love. Go ahead and please subscribe to her channel, or she also has a channel called Civility Wins, and they did a couple of great shows. Been watching. I'm mostly Team Replay, y'all. Be working hard in the day, and then I get to watch you at night. But if you are watching Team Replay, you know what to do. Hit the like button. Thank you guys always for supporting, and I'll see you very soon. I appreciate you tuning in. Hit the like button, comment, and share. Team Replay. I'll see you guys very soon. Take care. Thanks for watching.